Dave Stoll is here to help you avoid expensive mistakes and ripoffs. This is You Oughta Know. You Oughta Know. With the car guy, Dave Stoll, on Intelligent Talk 1170 KCBQ. Call now, 888-344-1170.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the You Oughta Know show right here on KCBQ AM 1170, 619-447-1588. But I will tell you, special guest with us today, Janet F. Williams. We're talking about if you don't ask, you don't get. Is it automotive? Well, yeah, sort of, but it's life more than it is anything. And it just will put you in a position because there's nothing that feels better than when you ask for something and you get it. I think we've liked that since we were little kids. Can I have a cookie? Sure. Yeah, I got a cookie.
How about two?
How about two? Yeah. How about three? And then they say, but and that's really what it is. But we seem to forget it. Either parents have told us not to do that. It's not polite, like Janet was mentioning. Again, you can get that book at gooddaymedia.com. It's going to run you about $14, and a little bit of shipping, which is no big deal. It's a nice. I like the way this book is made. It's not hardcover. It's got a nice soft cover. It'll fit in a briefcase. It's something like if you're going to go to lunch and you take the book, it's a nice, handy little carry around. Looks like an airplane book. I like it.
It's the kind of book that you can just pick up and read little bits at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a little bit of practice. If you're not used to being a little bit outspoken, you might want to read it a couple of times just to get comfortable at it.
Talking about reading it little bits at a time, picking it up, can you give us an example?
A good place to start would be in the beginning.
Yeah, boy, there's a way to go.
Imagine that. I talk about the 7 WIFM motivations.
Why don't you give us at least the 7 titles, just so that people have an idea?
First, WIFM, that's what's on everybody's mind. What's in it for me? Okay, sounds like a radio station.
Yeah, it does.
That's right. What's in it for me radio, where I'm listening to what's in my head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes. I want to know what I'm going to get. But really, you have to be thinking what somebody else is going to be getting, because as we were talking before, it's give and take, it's giving and receiving. You're not going to get something typically, not always, but usually there's an exchange taking place, whether you're asking a friend to go to the mall or if you need to buy a new car. There are 7 motivations that I've discovered about why you want what you want, and those are the same 7 motivations about why people are inclined to give you what you want. So there's emotional reasons, and you were talking about passion, and certainly there's some emotion in that. For example, let's choose a dealership as an example. If you want to go to a car dealer, you might want to go because you've heard that it's a fun place to go.
Exactly.
You're going to have a good time. You're going to test drive a car, and oh boy, I'm going to get to drive the new, whatever's on your mind.
Right. Exactly. And a lot of people, you're right. And that kind of a dealership, few and far between, but they are out there, and they sell excitement. They sell fun, and when you walk in, and then you said it earlier too, you could walk into a business or a facility or a dealership and get a bad vibe. That's
right. You might, and you're certainly welcome to go someplace else. Now, when you're buying a car, the second thing that you might think about, you know what, I'm going to name the 7 things, and I'll tell you what they are. I was going to say,
name them off. That'll make it easy.
All right. The 7 reasons that you ask for what you want these categories are emotional, physical, which is also energy, and that's time, the convenience factor. There's logical reasons, fairness, your own spiritual or other beliefs, your own personal reasons, and then, of course, the financial reasons.
Right. And it's funny you put financial last, because really, in the scheme of things, that's where it belongs.
These are in no particular order. And
you didn't put them in any particular order?
No, they're in no particular order.
Sounds like it was a pretty good order to me. What do you think,
It did to me, too.
Because the money should be last, because if you had money, you wouldn't need the other 6.
That's not necessarily true, because some things are not available at any price.
That's right. Well, there's some people out there that think so.
But there are other things of value.
Yeah, right.
And financial doesn't have to mean money. It could be goods or services in exchange.
Well, I flew in a vintage aircraft yesterday because I gave them airtime last Saturday.
And you probably couldn't have bought the ride in that airplane.
No, because they weren't. No,
right.
It was for media. It was a media thing. But again, I wasn't actually on the list because I never asked. See, that's the other. That's my problem. I got to read this book.
See, so you got what you want was one reason. They got what they want was a different reason. The motivations don't have to match.
No,
and
both people win.
That's right.
It's got to be a win-win. That's the bottom line. And you're right. And a lot of people, even myself, I'll get press credentials all the time. well, and at halftime I don't do it, which I should. I should go, and I should be in attendance, and because it's good for my show, it's good for me. It's good to get out there and see these things. But sometimes I get like everybody. So it's going to be nice to have this book because I think it'll be kind of like a refresher.
Well, you might be thinking next time, why should I go? What's in it for me?
Right.
If you have a strong enough reason, then you're going to act on it. Now, some people do have fears related to why they do not ask. And certainly that can be the case when you're going to an automotive dealership. Many consumers are fearful before they walk into the door.
And you notice she didn't say women. She said people.
Right.
Because men are out there are just as afraid as women are. But you got to bring that up sometimes because people, some of the audience that we have, are male oriented, and they kind of think that they don't, they can handle themselves. Well, it's easier to rip off a guy than a girl.
That line of salespeople waiting at the entrance of the dealership, they're going to go after you whether you're a guy or a girl.
That's right. But being in the car business, as well as I do. I mean, you can rip a guy off quicker than a woman because she's got more. It seems like women do more education. They do more research.
I recommend that people be proactive.
Yep.
If you just walk into a dealership and you're unprepared, you're going to end up being reactive. You're going to be responding all the time to the salesperson.
What about the one? Here's what I tell people to do: when they drive in and they see the 6 guys and the girl standing over there on the corner of the building, go pull right in front of them.
Yeah. And
then as they start to come back up, and then go 4 or 5 parking spaces down. Then when they come down over to that 4 or 5 parking spaces, back up and then go all the way. I always think that's kind of cute. I mean, well, you get some wind out of these salespeople, and the one is still chasing you up and down. I did it actually by accident one day. I was going to leave my car and pick up a car to do a story on it, and they didn't know me from Adam. And I actually did that. I went and I pulled up front, and I thought, oh, geez, if I pull here, they're going to say, "Where's your car?" They can't have it in front. So I had to back. So as the crowd was coming, I went, "Oh, this is going to be fun." So I moved it into a couple different spots, and I finally, parked it, and they all kind of gave me dirty looks when I came out. But then I told them what I was doing, and they thought it was kind of cute. But I have actually told people, I mean, if you're uncomfortable going to the dealer and you want to kind of set the stage, do that. Just get a couple of parking spaces, go over there. By the time they hoof up and down, and I don't know, me personally, I don't know if I like to go to a dealership where they're all standing. We actually got about 1 minute, so go ahead.
So, well, what I recommend folks do is that before they go anywhere, they ask their friends for a recommendation, or they go on the internet and they see what sort of things have been published about where they might have a good experience, or to ask for even a specific salesman or saleswoman before they go.
Okay, right here on KCBQ AM 1170. This is the You Ought to Know show. If you have a question, I'll talk to you. 888-344-1170, 888-344-1170. Won't cost you anything unless I think I should ask for it, but I probably won't. We'll be right back.
My friend, the low rider. The low rider.
Here's your chance to call Dave Stahl, the car guy. This is You Ought to Know on Intelligent Talk, 1170 KCBQ.